All right, you're asking for it, so here it is. Listen to this.
I want you folks laughing at we partners pod, kid. You understand? We in here drinking, singing, swinging, all that shit, dog. We sweating, getting wet, all that.
All right, welcome to the 105th episode of the Drinking Partners Podcast. Yes, this is our Jason Kidd episode because we've become the podcasting assist leaders of Pittsburgh. Does that make sense? Always lending a hand to small business,
there
dropping dimes for small business, getting other people involved. That's what we do, and Day is light skinned. I am half of your host of Tandem, Ed Bailey. I am joined as always with my co-host, Dave Bracey. Say what up to the people.
What's good with you people? If you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, and Google Play under Drinking Partners. And you can find us on Facebook, IG, and Twitter under PartnersPod. 105 episodes?
105.
105 episodes, man. We've been asking you, we're going to ask you again. Please hop on iTunes, rate and review. That's how we know we're doing well. That's how we let others know that we're doing well, and that's how we continue to do well. So please, rate and review, man.
Hey, you love us. You see us in person. You tell us you love us. Now just tell the internet. And as always, in lieu of rates and reviews online, we do take shots of Henny.
We most assuredly do take shots of Henny.
Yeah, a shot of Henny a day keeps the doctor away or something like that. Keep your sperm count low so you can go raw. I don't know what it does. Don't listen to that.
It definitely don't keep the babies away.
I am going to read a review. It's a pretty awesome review from Clark Selby or Selby.
Oh, yeah. Shout out Clark Selby.
Shout out to the guy that Dave knows that I don't know personally, but shout out to you, fam.
Big bro.
He said, these guys are hysterical. Can't listen in the car because I am a dad, but I put my earbuds in last night when I was lying in bed. I laughed so hard that I forgot thinking about stupid nonsense and fell asleep. He was drunk when he wrote this. As good as beer, but without the hangover. Thank you, Clark Selby. No, we do not advise that you have your children around when we speak. We are anti-kid, even though we are parents. We don't.
I mean, but Clark, I know Clark, his kid, I think he could kind of get away with it. I mean, I guess we don't encourage it, but if you got a 1-year-old, that's just going to fly over their head.
I don't know, man, because my nephew, I guess he's a little older. I got a 5-year-old nephew, and I guess he told his mom that when he gets older, he wants to have a girlfriend with a big butt so he could throw money on it. So
wow,
we are now trying to figure out where he got that.
He did. I was going to say he didn't get it from us, but he may have.
I don't know. He might be listening to the podcast. At one point, we did go into the strip club and podcast.
We did do a podcast at the strip club.
Man, I'm sorry, nephew.
And because we drink so much, I'm going to be honest, I forget 60% of the shit that we do and say.
Think he got that. That's just not an adult phrasing of it. He got that from another kid.
Yeah.
There's some kid in his school that was like, yo, you need to get you a girl with a big butt and throw money on it. You don't need to love her, just put money on her butt.
That was a question. What is this for? It's for throwing money on.
Why does my dad love money? Because he gets a big booty girl and he puts it on her butt. Oh, my sister's going to be mad as hell if she listens to this episode. She should have told me, that's my fault. But shout out to the family. Don't listen to us when your kids are around. But thank you for the review, Mr. Selby. That was dope. We hope to continue to entertain you and your children.
Okay. All right. We want to holler out at Hooch. Shout out to Hooch. It's an app. Now, the way this app works is you put in the code DrinkPod, and you download the app. Costs you $1, and with that $1, you get a free drink for 30 days.
One free drink a day for 30. That's a month of going in, taking that shot you need before you go home with them kids.
Yeah, that's your bring down. That's your tolerance.
Down. Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, download the app, use the code DrinkPod, the Hooch app, and get one free drink a day for a month. Now, that shit don't work in Pittsburgh right now. I think there's one spot in Pittsburgh that does it. What's the spot? Oh, it's on there. Okay. It's Graperia. Nigga, if you Google it, you'll get it. Graperia.
Spell it for the
people. Grapperia. Graperia.
Graperia.
There's not many motherfuckers out there. Just ask Syria. Yo, Graperia. She'll bring it to
Shout out to Graperia.
Yeah, shout out to them. But, you know what I mean? It does work in D.C., Cali, you know what I mean? Los Angeles. Yeah. All of our people's out there in, like, the big cities, you know, holla at that. And that's 30 free drinks for
we
30 drinks for
again.
$1.
Jason Kidd again. We throwing that assist out to other cities, and we getting Graperia. Shout out to them for you know going with the Hooch app. If you're around, I don't know what part of town, but find them, go there, get a shot, say you know us, use Drink Pod.
Boom.
Can't ask for more.
You know what I mean? If you're listening to this sultry ass podcast, you're like, oh my God, I want to do a podcast. That's how I want to do a podcast just like that. That shit sounds super cool. Like that's because of Epicast, man. Like shout out to the fam.
To the family.
You know, Drinking Partners is the crew. Epicast is the family, and our shit sounds so good because of Epicast. And they're a full-fledged media company, so anything that you need done, I mean, they got graphics and videos and podcasts and photos and like all kind. They got big booty hoes that they throw money on sometimes.
They can record that, or they can do your wedding, whatever you need. Anything with
everything.
Audio or visual.
From weddings to bachelor parties and everything. Yeah, I mean, holla at Epicast.
They can film your big day, and they can advise you through the divorce. Whatever you need.
A divorce party? Yeah.
Why aren't there divorce parties?
There should be divorce parties.
Definitely be a divorce
That is a celebration. Is there a divorce party? That is a celebration than a motherfucker right there. Especially if you're on the alimony side.
Everybody's happy. Like, your friends tired of hearing your bullshit stories about your woman. Like, they happy too.
True.
You know what I mean? Like,
they get your homie back. Like, you know what I mean? A little
so
less
all these
stress.
weddings I've gone to in the past couple years, I'm definitely looking forward to these divorce parties y'all go through. Y'all need to send some save the dates. So I can put the divorce party refrigerator magnet on my fridge.
I feel like you should wrap the presents that we gave you up and get them shit back. Like
all used and shit. Assisting those in need. Again, Partners Pod, Jason Kidd episode. So,
but if you're doing that, holla at Epicast, man, because you know you want to remember that, you know, because you want to remember not to make that decision again. So have Epicast come through and shoot that up. You know what I mean?
All your media services, man. Shout out to the family. Big Buzzum, Nick the Godfather. They got your back.
Yeah.
Day. What is it? I see we have a nice spread. This is probably the most lovely. Like this is the most well put together spread. We got oranges here. We got baked goods.
This is a lot.
This has a woman's touch.
Exactly.
Because we had Christian Simmons on. He just put a whole bunch of fucking liquor out. And it's just like that was like a divorce party. That's what that looked like.
That was definitely a bachelor. You know what I mean?
This is like middle class. Our friends are coming over to play Cards Against Humanity.
Tasting. I feel like they about to break out some dildos or something like that. You know how that.
One of the sex toy party.
Adam and Eve.
I don't want to be here. I don't want to see a silver bullet on the
either
table.
makeup or dildos is about to go down. I'm not 100.
Or taboo, fam. I'm always in for the taboo. Like if somebody pulled out a taboo game right now, I'd shut the podcast down.
Yeah, it's a lovely spirit. Before we get into that, I just want to let everybody know we got this dope ass event coming up. If you're not aware, we're comedians
sometimes,
and we do live events. And we have a live stand up show at the last Saturday of every month in 2017 up at Comptra Theater in Cranberry, Route 19. And the beauty of it is you get music, you get comedy. We always have a sponsor, as a liquor sponsor that will give you some free booze, and it's BYOB. And this month, we got Apis Meadery coming through, Dave Sermonera. He brings the party. He'll be up at Comptra slinging some meat, some tasting of that, bringing your own booze. And
Kupiak headlining, Tom Kupiak.
Tom Kupiak headlining. We got Suzanne Lawrence and Tom Henry and Amanda Averill. And we also have Dennis Malley. He's going to be, playing the guitar. And Dom Shuck, on the ones and twos.
On the ones and twos in the booth, giving you the light, getting you right.
Yeah, so, comedy, music, booze, all for affordable. I think tickets are online at ComtraTheater.ticketleap.com for $15, $18 at the door. It's a nice way to wind down, start off the new year. And like I said, every last Saturday of the month, man, check that out.
Yeah, we know you're hurting from Christmas. Come on, have some fun for the cheap.
True.
You get your comedy and your drinking in for $15.
And
$30 for a date night.
Yeah, and you need that because you're coming from Christmas and you got the
You
Valentine's
got
Day coming
right around
there.
the corner.
Yeah, you need it cheap.
You need to pregame the Valentine's Day with this $30 night.
Yeah.
Because that's right within that window of memory. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like if you couldn't get her like diamonds, you know what I mean? You can only get her like an Alex and Annie bracelet, but you also took her to the comedy night.
Boom.
So that boom.
And you ain't got to tell her how much you paid for that. It was just a good night. You know
Well,
what
if she
I mean?
see the flyer though.
Maybe.
She gonna
might
see
be.
the flyer. Scratch all of that. Just don't tell her nothing about it. Just show up to the show.
True.
Dave, what you drinking on over there?
So the lovely ladies that we have here at the table brought me this Maggie's Farm rum, and shout out to Maggie's Farm. I forget what episode was that.
It was 40 something. I'm going to get it.
But yeah, I mean they make the best rum in America, and I'm not saying that because it's local or because like we actually sat down there and got completely shit faced
were voted.
behind the bar down there, or because we did a show down there at the Strip District Music Festival that kind of we lost. I'm saying it because it's
That
actually
happened? I forgot about that.
yeah, so did the universe. But no, it's actually really good shit. I drank rum before. It was like that Captain shit that like and that ain't really rum. That
The
like
college party rum.
Yeah, like Captain's compared to this is like Kool-Aid compared to like orange juice. Like it's a completely different. It's the same kind of flavor.
Nah, man, I don't get that analogy.
Well, it's the same kind of flavor. You got orange flavored Kool-Aid. Then you got orange juice. You know that them motherfuckers don't taste anything like each other, but they still in the same, like it's orange. The same thing with this rum, man. And like you got you got the Captain Morgan rum, which is like it's all right. And then you have the real shit, and you're like, oh, this is what it. No,
the analogy just not going.
That's not gonna fly.
I thought you was gonna say like Kool-Aid to Weilers or some shit like that. That bullshit Weilers you get at Family Dollar for 7 cents a packet. I got the Landlocked Spice Wiggle 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 whiskey, but it's a spiced rum. Very good.
Well, it's a not rum.
It's a not rum
because it's not sugar cane. I believe is what it like. Rum is sugar cane, and I believe this is something other than sugar cane. Honey. There it is.
What is it like?
So yeah,
whiskey?
well instead of using sugar canes like as a as a base for the like the ferment, it's sugar cane. I mean it's honey. So it's technically the same flavor and the same spices and whatnot, and they taste the same, but because it's not sugar cane, it can't be technically rum.
So you were listening during episode 47.
Yeah.
When we had rum. I was just drunk. Shout out to Dave. This is why we're a team.
Yeah.
I ask the questions, he remembers the answers, and then I forget them.
Nice. So shout out to them, and that leads us into our guest for the podcast.
Who brought
today.
us this spread?
Yeah.
We have the lovely ladies from Farm to Table. We have Erin and Marianne. Say what up to the people.
Hi, everyone.
That was very.
I don't know what because you seem like they got an ulterior motive. You know what I mean? We was talking about them big booty chicks earlier.
I know.
Got them on their sex
That's why I
symbol
drank.
shit. Like,
Yeah, we've drank with these ladies, and they are not representing. Oh hi, like don't believe that. But yeah, they've brought us this lovely spread. You guys want to tell us about this?
Sure. Wiggle is, basically in Pennsylvania, the laws changed as of, I think, 2009. So before then, there were no distilleries in PA. Boyd and Blair and Wiggle both worked on the law in Harrisburg. And so those are two of the drinks that we brought. We brought some shrub from Tate Farm Foods. It's ginger shrub, which is like a vinegar. They're actually a Pennsylvania farm. And so that is like a mixer.
It's a good mixer, yeah.
Yeah. We also
Vodka
brought
with sour.
Foraged, which is a product that's made by Wiggle. It's a Pommeau, which is basically an apple brandy,
sound like a LA gang.
right? I know, right?
It's from 412 Food Rescue.
Yeah, so it benefits 412 Food Rescue. They rescued crab apples in city parks.
Oh, those are the
And
apples
they-
we used to throw at
I was
cars.
about to say
Exactly.
like that was those are the
Pull
apples
them
we
off
used to
the
ping
trees and
motherfuckers
start-
with.
And
Yeah.
now we can make
busting
liqueur.
dudes upside the head with them Jones.
And now
I
we
didn't know
can
you could
drink
eat them
them.
bitches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're edible, and so now
Nice.
we can drink them.
People tell you that they're poisonous, so that's not true.
That's not true.
It's
Crab
just-
apples
it's
That's
are
an
just
not-
urban
terrible.
legend.
They tell you the poison because usually they're just laying on the ground and there's probably a
Yeah.
worm in that bitch. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
They
You
keep
know.
the worms in.
You don't want
They
protein.
keep
That's
the worms
extra
in, yeah.
protein.
Well,
Well, if
yeah.
you're putting it in
Yeah, I
liquor,
ain't
you
mad at
definitely
that.
want the worm.
Like the worm
Yeah.
in tequila. That's what we should
Whatever
do.
was
Yeah.
was
Put
bad
the-
for you is dead after the alcohol hits it, so you're good.
Spoken like a true
So we'll try some of
alcoholic.
that later. This actually retails for $50 a bottle.
Jeez,
So
That
this
little
is-
slim
That
ass
dog-
This little
bottle.
guy, this little tiny bottle. Yeah, I didn't even realize it.
Who the hell they
And-
trying to rescue?
Well, and 30% goes to 412 Food Rescue.
That's
so
a
they
good.
can,
That's a good $50 spent then.
rescue all the
You
food.
know, yeah. I mean, you drinking for
Get it.
charity on that
Jesus.
one. I like
Exactly.
that. So
And then Maggie's, we've met Tim. He comes to some of our farm to table tastings, so we always try to promote any of the vendors who come to our events. We try to promote them wherever we're out and about. We don't make any products ourselves. We're a healthcare company, but we promote these local farms and food businesses, and of course the drinks.
So, I was just going to say, if you could just give the listeners who are not aware just kind of a brief synopsis of what Farm to Table is, how you got involved.
So Farm to Table started in 2007. One of my friends actually approached us in 2006 about putting together an event that would feature traditional foods and healthy foods from local farms as a way to help promote the farms and keep them in business. So it was sort of like a one-off type of thing that we decided to throw something together. We did it at the Manchester Craftsman's Guild. And it's a 2-day event. We're planning our 11th one. It's all about connecting consumers to local, real food. So it's not even just local, it's real. So the idea of like a potato chip. If you eat a potato, it's very cheap and it's good for you. There's health benefits to it. But as soon as you cut it into a chip and then fry it in canola oil and add salt to it, there's no nutritional value. So
Even like when you
But
eat a
it's
salad,
delicious,
but
though.
like 90% of the
delicious.
salad is
You're right.
dressing and bacon.
But you can make chips at home, too. So it's all about cooking at home, too.
it's complicated. It's very complicated. So it's not about it's not about having like some diet doctrine, but it's about people who are interested in being healthy.
Learning
Basic-
where your food
which-
comes from and how you prepare it so that it stays
It's
right.
The
where you
education
have it.
side of it, and that's important because like I had an online argument as I tend to do.
Yeah, that's what you are, Dave.
And
Day is a walking
Hashtag
online
no.
argument.
Sometimes I chirp in on those if I.
And it was it's crazy because you have this like, oh, it doesn't cost more to eat healthy, like you're just being lazy, like there's just this and people love to say that poor people are poor because like they're just stupid and they just make poor decisions, and there's study after study that shows that poor people are poor. Poor people make poor decisions because they're poor. It's not the other way around. They're not poor because they make poor
Right.
decisions.
That's what they
You
know.
Yeah,
What
I
they
mean,
know.
they don't. But and a large part of like one, healthy eating is education. Like, what is healthy? Why should I eat this? What are the long term effects? Like, benefits of that.
And how.
Yeah, I mean, like how to like manage. I mean, because to eat healthy, not only even if you're going to eat healthy on a budget, meal preps are a thing. I mean, like because it takes time to
Yeah, I
make
was gonna
food
say,
at
the
home.
time element, I think, is what, because
huge.
you're talking about those chips, and it's like, yeah, I can make them at home, but I
starving.
also can walk across the street with
And-
2
Right.
quarters,
Yeah.
and I can get some nacho cheese Doritos. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
So I'll tell you a stat though. The average American spends 2.5 hours a day watching TV
Right.
and less than a half an hour a day preparing food. So it's a priority. I mean, it's definitely a priority. And we've been fed this marketing concept for the last 60 years that we don't have time to eat healthy. And
So
we don't
that
have
you
time.
buy
So
somebody's
it's- so yeah, because there's the billion-dollar advertising budgets are selling us this idea that we don't have time. So we need to buy like a frozen meal, like lean cuisine, or pick your processed food in the middle of the grocery store.
create a meal. My mom used to make some shit called
Yeah.
create a meal. I still don't know what that was. I used to bang that create a meal. It was
That's what
rice.
she
It
said.
was frozen. It was rice with a bunch. You had creative meals?
I feel like I did, yeah.
Yeah.
The frozen
Yeah.
stuff that you just
Yeah.
Like a
It
TV
basically-
dinner.
It was like
In
my
different
mom was
bags?
like
It was
going
a
to the
bag,
Penguins
you
game.
thawed it
She gave me
out,
one.
and then you made rice, and then it's almost like you had Chinese food, but not really.
Oh yeah, you just put it on
like
top
a skillet
like the,
meal.
Yeah,
You
they
have to
had like
boil
little
it in
chunks
water or
of
whatever?
chicken in there.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
shout out to
kind
the
of
creative
genius.
meal moms.
You could do that though. So yeah, like when I'm laying on the couch every day, I'm like, I should really get up and go cook my kids some food. And you have to. I just include my kids because they like it too. They want to hang out with you. So instead
How
of
old
like
are your kids,
staring
though?
at a TV, 10 and 7.
You got like 3-4 more years of that, and then they're not gonna want to hang out with you.
Oh, I'm like the coolest mom in the world.
10-year-old,
doesn't matter.
4 years.
They totally want to hang
He
out
or
with
she
me.
is not cooking with mom.
I
at
put on
14.
music and like drink wine and make them
Do
laugh.
they drink wine?
Yeah, no.
They could
well,
sneak it.
fine.
I get them
You're
apple
gonna have to
juice.
start giving up the wine.
Just rum.
Give them a little taste. Get
But you have to
Alizé.
make it like a fun part of the day.
Yeah. Yeah,
And it's not something that you have to do every day. You can batch
Yeah.
stuff, but it's not something that you. Of course, I mean, life happens.
Or cook on Sunday and make it all and freeze it. So you have freezer
And
meals that
time
you made.
is a luxury. So the whole going back to like people in poverty. So but people who are attorneys don't eat healthy. So this is an American problem. It's not exclusively about poor people, but when you look at the ramifications of our food choices, it hits poor people the most because they get the bottom of the barrel. So
Right.
they get the worst food. Like we were talking about, like you go to the dollar store and you buy some like frozen or some, macaroni and cheese in a box that's like 17 cents.
Yeah.
And you can feed your kids with that and it's awesome, but the nutritional value for your kids,
It's
just
so
so
processed.
they're malnourished and they're obese. So they are hungry because they don't have nutrients
Yeah.
in the food that they're getting. So those are groups of people that we feel that it's absolutely necessary to get food into their hands and education about how to cook. So we've been talking about 412 Food Rescue. One of the things that they're doing right now is having a campaign to get cooking utensils for people. So like pots and pans.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that you don't think about.
You were talking about like eating rice and beans because that's what people say. All over the world, people are eating healthy because they're eating rice and beans. So if you get dried beans, you literally have to soak them for a day or two to the healthiest way to prepare them is to let them sprout. So that might even take 3 days. You have to keep changing the water, and they're sitting on your countertop.
It's not practical.
So
And then you boil them for
Time out.
Yes.
He needs a timeout.
So,
Go to your step.
Goya beans, good or bad? I need to know this. This is big.
Goya.
In the cans.
In the can.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I mean,
All right, cool. I'm straight.
but cans have BPA in them.
Cool. I mean, I'm just need
Which
to know
is a
if I gotta-
chemical
I'm not
that
trying
is a
to give up the
carcinogen.
Goya.
No, so it's a very slippery slope. When we first started Farm to Table, I was diagnosed with cancer like the month before our first conference.
Really?
So I went down this like crazy, and I didn't have any kids yet. And my doctor basically said, you have to have kids in order to because I had to have surgery, and so I for 5 years I had 3 kids.
Like, have your kids
And
now.
I had to go and get a biopsy every 4 months. So I was insane about like chemicals and
Right.
what I'm eating, and so that really informs a lot of what we do. But I say to people, like, are those beans healthy in that can? Of course they are.
Yes.
Of course they are, because they're beans, and beans have they're like whole nutrition. I mean, that's how Mexico and like South America survives, because they're eating like that. That's like a staple of the diet.
Yeah, the Goya
Look at
beans.
Africa. I mean, the food that's being eaten by people who are native people throughout the world. There's an organization called Weston Price. That's how we started this conference. This dentist went around in like the 1930s and 40s to native cultures around the world, to the like Alaska, in Switzerland, Africa, and looked at like these people that they had no cavities, and they were completely healthy people, and their teeth were perfect. So he was interested because he was a dentist. So what are they doing? And they were eating these in these ways that were completely traditional, and they were whole foods. So having as Mary's like sipping the Maggie's. Are you huffing it?
She's over here huffing
Smells
Maggie's
very
farm.
delicious.
I
And
mean,
that's
I don't.
cool.
I can't knock
It's
her
like
for it
stress
'cause
management.
It is
Yeah.
a great.
We try to manage
Like
our stress.
aromatherapy.
I think that's what's really cool about you guys. You guys are
Aromatherapy.
very
Aromatherapy.
informed,
Yeah.
very informed about the food, but still
They're
can
very-
party. Like,
yeah,
but
and-
very
and-
healthy.
Yeah, but we're like-
Yeah,
We
yeah.
love to
Does
talk
it-
shop.
And I think that's a thing. though.
Edutainment, man. That's
I think that's where the education piece, where Dave was saying, I think a lot of it, lifestyle education would be key, like to understand
lifestyle.
what you can do within the limits of your budget to be
Exactly.
healthy
Yeah.
and still
Exactly.
maintain
Yeah.
a lifestyle that you can be happy with.
So even like salt, like what salt you use, which sounds ridiculous,
Mm-hmm.
but just there's healthy salt and unhealthy salt.
Yeah, no, I didn't know like
It's-
about it because like some like what pink salt is a fucking thing.
Himalayan
Yeah.
pink salt.
Yeah,
I know.
but
So then it
different
becomes like
minerals.
Ain't it the
bourgeois.
same shit? Like what?
Right.
Is that the same shit?
That's what we melt snow with, right?
I know. You can in a pinch.
Exactly.
If you ballin'.
Himalayan salt, if you went to Marshall's all Christmas season and stocked up on it, sure.
If you ballin' like that,
All right.
and you want to throw a fancy
like-
winter party
you're
and
like
be like,
sprinkling it.
this is how I'm living, B.
With, like, glitter.
I sold my shit with the pink
Himalayan.
stuff.
You're
Like,
All right. So that's like an MTV Cribs thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That's Marshall.
We only use Himalayan salt in my driveway. Only Himalayan salt touch these tires, B.
And we're in LA. It's not
only
even
the
snowing.
finest shit out here for my driveway.
How smooth this concrete is. Y'all using that bullshit salt? Let's get you some Himalayan salt, B. We don't get no divots in my, driveway.
Well, we were laughing because the Williams Sonoma had like a chicken coop like for sale,
Oh god.
and they had like canning supplies for sale. So all this stuff that's like stuff that's almost like free. Like you don't need to buy glass
Like go to
jars.
Tractor Supply and get some barbed wire.
Just save like your pickle jars, right? Or just go to Tractor Supply. But it's like this precious, idea that people want to get back to the farm, and
like,
that's
that
not
has
what we're
its place because it makes it mainstream. But then, like, take those ideas and make them real.
right.
Well, see,
Yeah,
the
you
thing
don't
is-
need to buy $50 jars.
Inaccessible for people who actually have no access to the information and to the food.
That's the key
And that's the
piece.
thing is
Yeah.
that because you see that healthy eating and like all these trends or whatever, and a lot of times they do become pretentious. And
Yes.
people, like poor folks,
Yeah.
like they get disconnected. It's like I'm not.
Yeah.
That's not my lifestyle.
Exactly.
I mean, like
if I buy
can't
salsa, that jar is still on my countertop.
Oh, we put grease in that jar.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or you can do fermented vegetables. If you ever try that, you just need a
I've
little
never
jar.
Kimchi.
tried that.
Try it. All you
Oh,
do is
kimchi,
like
I love some
shove
kimchi.
some
Mary makes
vegetables
kimchi.
Yeah, teach me.
in a
I don't
jar.
know shit about
You put
nothing.
water and salt, and then you leave it on your counter. It's like
And
something
it
that
ferments the
it's like
vegetables so that you get the good
Like it doesn't
probiotics.
feel right, but you
Oh,
do it.
don't
and then you
mind my
burp
face.
It.
All of this is new. So everything you're gonna say to me, I'm not done.
pickling.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
pickled
lacto
anything.
fermentation. So it's you're not processing it by boiling it. It's just fermenting in a you put it in the dishwasher if you have a dishwasher, or do it really hot. So that's what
You sterilize it.
you sterilize
There's going to
it.
be a lot of that's what she
Yeah.
said jokes.
Uh,
I know.
But literally, that's
Eddie's
what
like
she
appalled.
said. Like it fits. 'Cause she is
It's like
saying
I
it.
pulled out a bottle of
I didn't
like Captain
just say
Morgan's.
that.
It's like so easy.
And that's what she said. Okay. So then it uses it helps replenish your microbiome in your body. So it's not only like
Microbiome. Is
Yes,
that
in
like
your
you're talking about the
intestines.
bacteria that helps
Yes.
you like shit?
yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's very
your
important.
healthy
Do you want to
gut.
have a good day?
Your
Yeah.
immune system is in your
Eat
gut.
some lacto
Yeah.
Shit once a
fermented
day.
vegetables.
Seriously, poop
Yeah.
once a day.
Yeah, no,
At
I'm
least.
a fan of shitting health.
Yeah.
Now, I went on a tangent for a little bit, and Ed
It's like my
kind of
New
like
Year's
he
resolution.
shamed me, but like
Really?
but shitting is
Really?
important, right?
Yeah, I didn't
yes, he
shame
did. He
you.
definitely
I
was
shamed you
shamed
for
me.
a tangent. Like,
No,
just, you
because
can leave it
shitting-
as shit once a day.
Shitting
That's
is
it, fam.
no,
That's
shitting
all.
is important.
It is.
and I
It
think
is.
that
See, here we go.
But again, these are issues that are in society, and it's up to us to bring light to these issues,
Yeah.
right? So if I'm out
Everybody
and about,
deals with this.
if I'm out and
Keep
about,
it real.
don't shame shitting. Okay, that's a thing
I
that
don't
everybody
shame
does.
shitting.
And
I
shitting-
said shit once a day.
I think that, but
That's
but
awesome.
And
shitting-
drop
Have you
it.
had your
Drop
poop
it.
today?
shitting in public
I wanna
is
do
a
it like-
taboo in our society, and I don't think that it should be.
Yeah, I don't
Really
think you
know
should
what
shit
that
in public.
Not for
Exactly.
my
You shouldn't.
kids. My kids
Please
don't
don't.
have a problem with
Really?
it at all.
Wow.
They shouldn't. Shitting is a
They
natural
usually
thing.
walk into
Sometimes
a
you're out.
restaurant and they
Oh,
all
God.
go
They
to the
like-
bathroom
That's
and
it.
they like come out and
they
they
can
have like
finally
a
relax.
relaxed face and I know what just happened.
One, I don't want to have this conversation again. Two, the problem with shitting in public is I don't know who maintains that restroom.
Exactly.
I don't know
Ed,
how many
the
asses
cleanliness.
have touched
Wait
that.
until
Yes,
your
the
baby-
cleanliness of the bathroom
In
is
my
an issue.
home, I know whose ass was on that,
Yes.
and I know that I'm cleaning that toilet.
Now, shout out to Work Hard. I love Work Hard. It's a co-working
You're not
space,
going to sit
and
there
they
and tell
are.
them that you poop in their
I'll be
bathroom.
right back.
Are you about to
We
say
definitely
that?
do
Are you
shit
about
at
to
Work
say
Hard.
that?
Yes, I do. And they
Nice. They have Febreze up there.
their bathroom cleanliness is top notch.
It is.
They keep Lysol
They
wipes.
do.
I said
They
when
keep
I just
paper
went,
towels.
I said,
And I
Wow.
think that's
I don't
something
always.
Big.
Sometimes I hover.
I think that's.
Well, I
yeah, you
think
got to
women-
do exactly. You got to do the other.
You
Like,
have
do
to
a
hover,
squat.
and I think
Yeah.
Because of that.
Like,
you have
work
to
on
eat
your
healthy
glutes.
so
One
your
of my
tendons,
roommates from college,
Right.
the tendons in your knees
Yes,
need to
you
be
have to-
strong for the
like the
hustle.
squats.
I see. I
the
can't get.
squats.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
healthy.
women are
There's a lot of
naturally
health
used. I think
connections.
women,
women-
are used to
yeah, we
squatting
have to-
because
yeah,
you
'cause
have
of the
to.
baby.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, in woods
So
and
Ed,
shit.
your baby is a boy,
Are you
right?
changing
Yes.
the subject?
Wait till he. No, I'm gonna I'm gonna tell
She's
him.
gonna try
He's-
to make my
he
boy sit in
sounds
public,
like-
and it's not gonna
I'm
happen.
just telling you.
not
I
gonna happen.
had 4 sisters, and then I had 2 daughters, and then I had a son. His philosophy is if he doesn't wipe his butt, he doesn't have to wash his hands. True story.
Wow.
They're disgusting.
Wow.
They're disgusting. And then I told him he had to wipe, and then
Wow.
the toilet paper pieces would be
Ew,
like sitting
I
on the
feel like
he would
we
wipe and then throw it
I'm
on the
telling
floor.
a lot of family secrets here.
Wow.
Well, I know. Sorry, but
hey,
there it
there's
is.
no
That's
shame
my
here.
life. That's my
understand.
life.
I understand why he would think that. All right, I'm not agreeing with
I
it.
didn't
Here's the
understand
thing,
it. I
though.
don't know why. I still
Well,
don't
he
know. Tell
probably-
me, please.
If he's peeing,
What's happening?
He's
and
efficient.
he only touches his peen,
He
you do understand
won't
the
touch-
peen is the most covered part of
He
his
won't
body.
And it's
throughout
probably the
day.
cleanest
No,
if
Ed.
you
It's the
showered
cleanest.
that
It's
day.
not- yeah, he's-
If you
it's
have
not
not been in
exposed to
somebody
anything.
else that day, if you
How
showered,
about
that's
in
the
between
cleanest
your
part of your
legs?
body.
He's
dude.
5.
Shit. Shoot.
We rarely agree
How
on
do you
things.
know that? Well,
Because
whatever.
we're dudes.
But yeah,
Okay, can I tell you something? He
How
won't
do you
even touch
know?
his penis when he pees. He just leans over the toilet.
If
'cause
he's
then
got
he doesn't
good
have to wash his
accuracy-
hands, and he doesn't. He
Oh,
doesn't.
yeah,
Oh,
nah.
God, he's
Nah.
Does he
disgusting.
drip
Does he at
dry
least
for like
lift the
2
toilet
minutes?
seat?
No, he
He's
goes like
young.
I catch him and he goes like
Yeah.
this, and he like leans in,
He's young.
and then he goes, and then I'm like, Joe, are you serious?
He's young. One, I'm not very
freaking
comfortable
serious?
talking about your son's penis. I want you to understand this.
We should change the
2,
subject. I know it's inappropriate.
He's young, so
like-
he doesn't have.
I feel
some
like
of the
I'm gonna
things-
get banned from like volunteering at my kid's school.
Well, no, he doesn't do morning wood yet. Like he's not peed on the back of the toilet yet. Trying to just he doesn't have to
Okay.
deal with that stuff
No
yet.
comment. That'll be off the record.
Like once he gets to deal with that stuff, he's
That's
gonna
nice.
holster that thing.
it
has
is
to learn.
it is a tool
That's
that
what
you
she
need
said.
to.
Cool.
Yeah, you need to learn how
Look,
to
I'm 30.
manage.
I live with my woman. I'm an advocate of peeing sitting down as a man.
Okay.
Wow.
No,
Good for you.
I don't know.
I'm an advocate of what, bruh?
What?
What are you standing up
What?
for?
105 episodes?
Take
What
a
are you
seat.
standing up for?
Take a seat and relax.
No.
No dude is
No.
never to tell
Don't
me what's the
normalize this
advantage.
shit.
What's the
Don't
advantage of
normalize
standing up?
this.
I'm at home.
Listen,
I
listen,
get
listen.
comfortable.
Write your
I can
name.
tweet.
Listen,
I
listen.
can go into my Facebook. I can
Trump-
do all
Yeah,
these things
for
sitting
real.
down.
You get a lot of
and
stuff
I don't
done.
touch
You
shit.
get a lot of stuff done.
Trump is in office. Aleppo is a thing.
And you're sitting down
and
peeing.
Ed
Bruh.
sits down and pee.
Young
These are all
Thug
things that we
put
should
an
not
album out.
normalize in 2017.
I'm gonna tell you this day.
No.
I talk about this in
That's
shows.
never gonna fly.
More dudes
You
sit down
pause.
and pee than you think.
You pause. You pause everything in life, and you don't pause sitting down and pissing in the morning.
I'm
You
still
sit down to
pissing,
pee.
bruh. I'm still pissing out of my penis. Like it's
And you-
I'm doing it more
comes
comfortably
out
than
the
you.
same
I'm not.
way.
No.
Bruh,
you
the
guys-
last time I peed on
No.
a toilet seat was 2007. Like I have none of
you've
those
sat
issues.
down for-
I sit
You
down.
know
10
they
years.
lift up,
For 10
right?
years.
You
Bruh,
know
that's
toilet
still,
seats go
that's,
up.
You're still pissing on the
public?
rim.
That's not the seat.
The
Yeah,
back
that's
of your
nasty.
shit is
Do you
all
clean your
fucked
own
up,
toilet?
and mine
Do you
is
clean your own
clean.
No, I don't clean my own
Right.
toilet.
Yeah, see,
but
you don't
if
get
I
to
had
sit
to
down.
clean my own toilet, I would. Yeah, but when I sit down, I'm sitting down with comfort because I know that I haven't pissed on that thing. I lift
sit
that
down.
shit.
I
lift
sit
it up.
down.
That's, you know what I mean?
Listen,
Comfort and
bruh.
trust.
No.
I got small children.
Wow.
I'll sit down and pee. I don't give a fuck.
Wow.
You ain't gonna make me feel weird about
That's
it.
funny. You
And a
should.
lot of you listeners are sitting down
should.
and peeing too.
You gonna shame me shitting in public, but you sit down to
I
piss?
shame anyone sitting in public. Sitting down and peeing is not a bad
It
thing.
is a bad thing.
What's funny, Ed, is my son Joe. I shouldn't say his name, but
I know.
Damn, Joe don't have a chance.
I know he does. I know, but he's yeah,
John Doe.
yeah, John Doe.
This is not a.
He,
Joe
he
Don?
was sitting because I didn't know what to do, and my husband was traveling, and he was
As a
sitting.
boy, when you
and
don't-
then he saw his cousin, and he was like, he looked at me, and he was like, Jackson doesn't sit, and he looked at
Now
me
you're
like,
naming
what
all
are
the
we
kids.
like? What do you have
Oh,
me
so
doing?
he didn't even know that
No,
like
he
you were
saw-
you were raising him to be
and he looked at me and he like called
Ed
me
Bailey.
out. Yes.
Whoa,
That's
fam.
the term for pissing sitting down as a man is now known as a Bailey. He's
cool
pulling
with
a
that.
Bailey.
I'm cool
That's
with that.
crazy.
Put that in the
Listen,
dictionary.
bro.
That's
105 episodes.
2017
Listen, bruh.
word of the year.
Wow.
Listen, bruh.
Bailey.
That is good.
If
Trump-
you can tell
I
me
pee sitting
one
down all the time.
advantage
Trump.
of standing up,
Trump.
give me one advantage.
The reason why every woman fucking envies the fact that we can stand up and piss.
I
we
wouldn't
can
say
do it
that.
everywhere.
I wouldn't. I don't envy.
You don't
I
envy that.
No,
you don't
I
envy
don't.
the fact that you have to
Not
squat
at all.
or that you have
No.
like.
Do
Because
you-
you can piss
Yeah, because
anywhere.
we get to like look on our phone.
Don't
No,
know why
I
they
don't.
envy that.
I don't have penis
They
envy.
only
I
envy-
don't have
I don't
penis
have
envy.
penis
anywhere.
But they only envy that in public restrooms.
Yes,
right.
Which
You
is
don't
why I
have
say
to sit
shitting in
down.
public is. I don't sit and
almost
pee in a public restroom. I sit at the
I
crib.
can piss faster standing
and
up
I
than I do.
tweet and I read
Right.
shit
That is-
You get
and I
stuff
take
done.
a piss.
It's like a
You
billable
sit when
hour
you
at the
poop.
toilet.
How long does
Right.
it take you to piss? I can't.
As long as I wanted to take, because I'm sitting down.
That doesn't. It does like a whole
sitting
tweet.
down.
You doing a whole 140 characters? You ain't editing that bitch. There's no editing going into
I'm
that
editing.
tweet.
I'm
There's
reading
mad
articles.
typos.
You're not pissing the whole time.
That's not grammatically
I'm
correct.
getting away from these two small children I
Right,
live
lock
with,
the door.
and
You can
I'm
take a bath.
chilling.
Lock the door.
You
You
don't.
take a
They
bath.
don't know
That's
what I'm
shitting
doing.
is for.
So
I don't. I can
Pissing?
shit every time.
How long
because
does it
I'm
take you?
sitting down.
And that's why you don't have time
Ain't
to
nobody
cook.
gonna be like, was that a
That's-
number one or
that's
number
what it is.
two?
Time to
Okay.
cook.
Could shave
That's a-
Stop
some minutes.
peeing and start
If you
cooking.
start pissing and standing up, you got more time to cook. Shout out Farm to Table. It's all about education.
I got enough time
Change
to
your
cook.
ways.
Your pee
Change
is
your ways.
cleaner if you sit
Yeah.
out. Your posture's better. Your stream is stronger. You get
up
more of
straight.
those toxins out.
If you're listening to this podcast,
Yeah.
at home
Get your
or at the
intestines
car
moving.
or wherever you're
My
at,
kidneys
please,
are clean.
please hashtag Bailey and tell us about your pissing habits.
Hey, if
and
you
if you find this to be
if you
slightly-
comfortable-
Unexpected turn-ons.
Hashtag unexpected.
Fellas.
Hashtag unexpected turn-ons.
Hashtag pissing.
Fellas out there,
It's trending on Twitter.
if you're comfortable with yourself and you sit and pee, you stand with me.
Tell us how you
Sit and
piss at
pee
home.
and stand with
Share
me.
your pissing stories.
I mean, sit
What's
with
your
me.
habit?
Sit and
You're
pee
having like a sit-in.
and stand with me. Exactly.
What's your morning routine at
We're gonna
home?
go to farm to table. We're gonna eat some fresh arugula.
We're gonna have to ask them to make sure they clean the toilet seats.
some fresh beets.
We have some people who want to sit.
The convention
And
center
men,
toilets are
some
very
men.
clean. They're very clean.
I don't feel uncomfortable at all. Thank you for
There's a
making me
family
feel weird about
bathroom
that
at the
day.
convention center.
Only sit and pee at the crib though. Don't do it in public places. Only at the crib. So I don't even know how to segue back into what y'all doing.
I'm not sure what we're talking about.
I don't
so,
know.
Okay,
Shit
so
happens.
how about we taste some of these delights?
I
that
didn't
you
wanna
brought
move
Here,
here?
let's
past the
get some
wiggle.
of these cups out.
Yeah, that would be
So let's
super
do the
awesome.
rum first. We'll
Well, I'm already
Oh, we're
drinking
gonna
this
do
rum
like a
over here.
tasting. So we
Let's
all
do
have our
Maggie's
drinks,
and
but then we'll do
taste
shots.
landlocked. Yeah.
Let's try the apple
Wiggle
brandy
and Maggie's.
from
They're both awesome.
I hope Tori doesn't feel
It's
different about
Interesting to drink it
She's
all at the same
here.
time, so you can see.
She's
the
like, I don't want to
taste
work
is
with this
different.
guy. He's sitting.
She's heard the podcast.
I'll talk
I
about
think everybody's heard the podcast.
I'll talk about 412 Food Rescue a little bit more.
No,
Really?
no.
Yes,
I
yes,
think
please.
this.
So
I
they've-
don't
We
want to
definitely-
lose sight of this
Well,
conversation through the
Thank
bullshit.
you.
I think because even just sitting with you guys upstairs before this and kind of just chit chat, I think this is very important. This is not addressed. Like I know we were talking about how Allentown as a community was quote unquote food poor in the sense that there's
Like a food
nowhere to
desert.
shop.
A
And I
food
used to live
desert.
in
Sweet
food
Good
desert.
term.
And I used to live in the Hill District pre grocery
Save,
store, and
yeah.
I don't even know if that grocery store is still open.
It
in
is,
Hill
the
District.
Shop
It
and
is.
Save, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like a terrible grocery store. Like even if it's open,
I've
it's
heard it
essentially a dollar
being
store
criticized.
with grocery lines. So how do you think? So how do you, I guess, turn those communities around, or does Farm to Table have any? Do you guys work with communities to kind of make them not food deserts, or I mean, because I think that's important. Because I didn't even realize it until we had the conversation. I was like, damn, if you don't have a grocery store,
Right.
like
Yeah.
You gotta
where,
catch a
where do these
jitney,
78-year-olds who
yeah.
are on
Like
walkers? How do they
7-Eleven.
get their food? Like, it's,
Yeah.
So you look at these communities, and another big one, Clarendon, like Tarentum, Natrona Heights, that area, where bus service has been cut so much over the past 10 years, 15 years, and there's so many people living in affordable housing communities. A lot of those organizations are helping to address the problem by bringing in resources to their residents. But a community as a whole, it's not a good prospect. I mean, when you look at the go ahead, the farmers markets that are developing, they're a lot of times they're so expensive that the people who live in those areas can't afford the food. So places like 412 Food Rescue, where they're just taking food that would have literally ended up in a landfill and dropping it off to buildings and having people have like access to fresh food is a solution, but it's not a permanent. So I mean, it's still happening. So the problems are not being solved in the communities or by the state or by the federal government, and who knows what's going to happen this year.
So what type of action do the inhabitants of those communities, what do they need to do? I mean, because there should be no community that has no access to groceries. Like that doesn't even
Right.
like now that we've talked it through, it didn't even
doesn't
make
make
sense.
sense.
Like
I
I
know.
lived in the Hill all this time and didn't even realize.
So-
At the time, I think for me, I was working at a grocery store, so I could pick up stuff and take it home for work. So it
Yeah.
never hit me.
Before
But
it hit the dumpster.
my neighbor, like I don't know how the fuck they were getting
Yeah,
groceries.
like as
They
a
pay
kid,
people to drive them, like in a jitney.
Yeah,
to
no,
the
that's
why
grocery
the
store.
jitney
yeah, that's why
stations are
like they
big.
were always outside.
Yeah.
Like, cause growing up, like I grew up in Braddock before, like, and it was like in the early '80s or whatever, like right as they were starting to like completely die. And we had a grocery store, and then we used to have like a little farmers market in the in the summertime and whatnot. And until adulthood, that term desert, food
Right.
desert or whatever, I didn't really fully realize. Like once that grocery store closed down, like. We didn't have we used to have to catch the bus
Right.
or get a jitney or whatever,
Really?
back in the day. And
or
like
you end up at those dollar stores. or
yeah, the
those
dollar
Exactly.
store
corner
or whatever. Yeah, and like we
Or
would
like a
go down
convenience
once
store.
a month.
They're
Yeah,
not
we had a
serving
deep freezer
food that's been
and the
just picked.
the like I mean like and now looking back at it, like if we didn't have that deep freezer, like I don't know how
Yeah.
big. Like my mom couldn't afford.
And
like
how many people have a deep freezer?
Exactly. How many people have a deep freezer or whatever? Like my mom wouldn't have been able to go like weekly shopping.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like she didn't have the time. She was working 3 jobs and
Right.
she didn't have the money to pay for a jitney to go back and forth or whatever. So like, these that term food desert is like once you hear it, you're like, oh shit.
It really brings I
Yeah.
think a lot of people don't even, and I think that's
something
why
you take
these
for granted.
communities are like that for a long time. You don't
You're
realize it 'cause-
basically, if you live in one of these communities, you're completely screwed. And if you're poor, you're completely screwed. I mean,
Right.
there are. We do a lot of work in like social services. People go to conferences and do poverty simulations, so that it's like a 3-hour thing. And this is an actual thing where it's like, oh, I'm gonna go. So
Like a
everyone gets
5-year
their
version of
role,
that.
and like, oh, I'm supposed to go on a job interview, but the like my car broke down. Or my kid got sick, or the
So what are you
babysitter.
gonna do?
My mom was going
Right.
to come and watch my kid, so I can't. So it's like
That's when you
this
make those
cycle of
choices.
things that happen to people that keeps them in this constant cycle of poverty. Something that I have never experienced that in my life. So if my kid gets sick, I have the type of job where I can call like the CEO of a hospital that I'm supposed to meet with and say, "Listen, my kid's sick. I'm not coming today,"
Yeah.
and it will have 0 ramifications for me. And in fact, they'll look at me and think, "Wow, like good for her.
She's a good
She is
parent.
exactly."
Yes, she's
so it
family
makes me. It
first.
gives me social capital.
Yeah.
But for people who aren't in those positions and
Right.
working 3 jobs,
Like your interview
and you don't
question
show
is,
up,
do you
it's
have
like,
reliable transportation?
Right, and
Yeah.
like everyone's looking
No.
at you like, well, of course you're not showing up because you're poor.
Yeah.
and that's why you're poor.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
and it's
because you're
this
making
this
it
whole
happen.
thing.
I hate that you're poor and that's why you're poor.
And
That's the
the
misconception.
attitude in
Yeah.
America that we look at, people with these, preconceived notions and these stereotypes and it keeps people in this, like locked into the system.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why things like 412 Food Rescue, I keep coming back to. It's like disrupting. It's a
It was a
completely different
great
way of
solution
doing
to a
things.
So tell us more about
decades-long
412
problem.
Rescue. I'm a big fan of it or whatever. For the
Yeah.
listeners that don't know, like what is 412 Rescue and like what have you guys done with it?
So I'm on the board, and I have done, very little compared to the organization. I mean, me
Yeah.
personally, the organization
Well,
is
it's like good for
unbelievable. I don't want to
networking
take credit for it.
them because we
Well,
help
we're
spread
looking
their
forward
message.
to getting
You help spread their
Giselle
message, right.
Fetterman in to
Tell
talk
us
about
about
that.
Fetterman.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's
Leia
cool.
Lizarrando is Giselle's co-founder. So Leia
They're
and
hard
Giselle
workers.
Giselle
her
had
name-
They
Braddock
are
Free
It's tougher
Store.
to pronounce, so we're gonna go with Giselle.
Yeah.
Leia Lizarrando. It's not that
Yeah,
hard.
nah,
She's
it's
cool.
not that bad.
It's like a bunch of cool
If
chicks
she was
trying to
like
solve
the
problems.
second episode of the day and
Lizarrando.
somebody brings a spread like this, I'm gonna just keep fucking her
That's
name
a
up.
that's
and
a
it's
hook. That's
disrespectful.
a hook.
See, Leia is Leia can cook food.
Oh.
Giselle doesn't cook. That's her.
That's her MO.
No, don't tell Giselle. I said
Oh,
that.
Giselle
okay.
does
Giselle,
serving.
I love
She's
you.
a good
Yeah.
job.
Lady like Lizarrando.
So they.
Yo, that's a T-Pain right there.
Leia
I need a lady
Lizarrando.
like Leia Lizarrando.
That's a
in the
Lil
morning.
Wayne lyric.
true. That's
What
a
he just
turn-up.
did was a Lil Wayne lyric. That's the next. I want you to clean my meat like Lil Lizarrando. Listen, I'm sorry. I don't even know you. I don't know if
I'm
you
sorry,
clean
Leia
meat.
Lizarando.
Can
She's
we
awesome.
strike that from the record?
You the next summer hit. She's
Shout
a-
out to Leia.
She's the summer banger.
She'll cook.
Pause.
She's
I don't even know
so
if we could pause anymore because
No,
you
that
know,
was
the Bailey
not
exists.
implausible. I just
the Bailey.
Don't
I feel
stop.
like I
Hashtag
owe her-
Bailey.
Okay,
Hashtag sit in.
listen, bruh. You're going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised by how many dudes sit down and pee, fam.
Yeah.
Hashtag I stand
Nobody
with
cares.
He still has not.
I sit
he's
with
not
Bailey.
giving me
Hashtag
one
I
advantage.
sit with
If
Bailey.
nobody's watching
To
you
stand
pee,
here.
does anybody really know?
If you're
He's
listening
not
to this
giving me one
podcast,
advantage to standing up. There's no advantage to
if
standing
you
up unless you're in a
if you're
public
listening to this
restaurant.
podcast, hashtag I sit with Bailey.
Yeah, sit with me, fam. Listen, if
that
you're listening
Is
to
that
All
possible?
the
Is
women
that
are like,
possible?
okay.
I don't give
That's not
no, because I
impossible.
said it,
Been with
and
Bailey
people
for
know
our
where I
entire
stand.
lives.
You know what I'm is. You know what I mean? There's no.
You don't.
I do stand in
Yeah,
public.
I know where you stand.
In
You don't.
in public restrooms, I always stand. At home, I stand some of the time. But
Why not hover?
Like when you're in a hurry, or
why hover? It's my crib.
Yeah.
Because sitting is more advantageous.
Why?
So then why hover?
Because it's the closest thing to sitting.
No, hovering in a
'Cause you're
public
developing your
restroom, one, you
hamstrings.
got to make sure you're in a
So
stall.
So
your
there
butt
is
cheeks
an
don't
advantage
hit
to
the seat.
standing, is what you're saying.
In a public
Oh,
restroom.
okay. They're just.
I've never
tell us-
I've never said
Like
that
on the
wasn't
turnpike.
true. I'm talking about at the
The
crib,
Ohio
bro.
Turnpike.
I'm
Yeah,
talking
don't-
about at the
don't sit
crib.
down on
If
the
you
Ohio
can tell me
Turnpike.
an advantage to going into your bathroom at your house and
What about the
standing up
Indiana
and trying to
Turnpike?
pee
It's worse.
at 6:30 in the morning after waking up, no, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna turn the light on that's
Yeah.
only
Do you
in
have
the
a TV
shower.
in your bathroom?
Not the whole
Do you have
bathroom.
a TV in your bathroom?
No, I
You
have
have a
a
TV
I have
in the
Bluetooth.
bathroom? You have a TV in your
No, I
bathroom?
don't.
I have a
but I've
Bluetooth
been-
Say that is.
My
It's like a
brother-in-law
hotel.
did.
Really?
I have a
It was
Bluetooth
a lot.
player,
I'm not-
like
well,
I can hook my
Like,
phone up.
it was
I don't know.
genius.
I feel like I
Watch
would be
YouTube.
much lazy because, like, honestly, like sitting
It's
and
about
shitting,
being lazy.
sitting down.
Like you're getting rid of waste.
sounds
Why
like
do
a
you
lot of
have
judgment,
to stand
Dick.
and,
Right.
and
Just
nigga,
relax.
I'm lazy as fuck when I'm
Take some
pissing. I'm
time.
chilling.
I'm
My
judging
leg
you.
is out.
I'm judging you.
I'm very much judging.
My leg
So
is. I'm
tell
chilling.
us, tell
Very
us,
much.
tell
So,
us
yeah, let me
more
tell
about
you-
Leia Lizarando
Yeah,
Yes.
so Leia
and the
I
416.
want
So
you to
they-
clean my meat like Leia Lizarando. I'm gonna say that shit this whole time.
So
She'll love that.
they
We're like
came
sitting
up
here
with
good
this
vibes.
idea that all this food, it's all perishable food. So none of it's banked. So it's the whole idea was like Costco would have sweet potatoes that they were going to throw out because they were mislabeled. So instead of putting them in a landfill, they go and
Thank
pick
you.
them up and drop them off at like an apartment building where people could split it up and everyone takes some food. So they've rescued 1 million pounds of food since March of 2015.
Jeez.
So
Yeah, it's crazy.
a million
Well,
and
that-
they
pounds
developed,
of
and it's
food.
all from volunteers. So there is a staff. They are at Repair the World in East Liberty.
Oh,
That's where
right
their
on,
office is.
that side street.
Yes, exactly. Broad
Whole
Street, I
building.
think.
Is it Broad? I don't know if that's Broad right there.
I don't know.
Because
It could be.
It's a little random side street.
So they
Shout out
have
to Repair the
What
World.
happened? Did you snort something?
Maggies.
No, I drank a cup that it was the wrong cup. There's so many goddamn
Oh.
cups on
His
here.
system's
that
not clean.
Hashtag
yeah, like,
Maggies.
up.
Do you
I
need
drank-
like a healthy microbiome too?
Yeah, I
need
drank the
some
wrong
kimchi.
cup, and I drank
Yeah.
it like it was another
Some
cup.
kimchi, buddy.
And
I
then,
want you to clean my meat like Leia.
Wow.
I like that. I like
Leia
how it
is vegan.
sounds.
And Leia is vegan.
I like how it feels when I say it.
But she still cooks bacon for her husband.
That's
she a
Yes.
finalist for
Yes.
the MLK Awards. Okay.
And she
Leia's-
cooks bacon for her husband. And
Yes,
that's
she's
dedication.
You know what?
And I
That
love
is
that.
a motherfucking keeper. That
Yeah.
is she
She's-
cooks
right.
bacon for her husband.
And she's
on
vegan,
Mustard.
yeah.
She's vegan.
And she's vegan.
Yeah.
That is, you know
And
what?
I-
That is very much like
I
my
love
household.
her.
I'm like
Yeah.
my fiance. She's a vegetarian, but she makes bacon in the morning.
That's awesome.
And that's how she.
Right.
That's how
Yeah.
she got me to
Keep
actually
that.
stay in
Yeah.
there. I mean, because it wouldn't have worked out any other
Right.
way.
You're like,
Like, if
you're like a
there's no
puppy.
bacon,
You're like a
like-
puppy. She's giving you treats.
Yeah, she just
I
that's
feel
how it
full of
was.
bacon. People
Yeah.
come to my house and I'm like, "Are you
That's how it is,
sad?"
Day.
And when they're sad, I make bacon.
You are, man.
Yeah.
man
Like you
get
have
it.
to make bacon.
Yeah.
I made bacon this morning, actually.
And you gotta clean the meat like Lizarando. Listen, it's coming.
That's
I'll tell
every,
you.
every time.
Hey, new
I met-
mixtape shop dropping.
I met Leia Lizarando.
Like Leia Lizarando.
Lizarando.
Check that out.
I
Summer
met her.
2017. Featuring Boom Concepts.
I feel like I gotta get some fronts and dreads before I can really encapsulate that phrase.
Collab album.
Yeah.
We have to show them a picture of Leia.
So
I know. She's a
You guys-
shorty.
She's like
Is she a
She's
shorty?
wearing
She's
like
tiny.
6 heels and she's still
She's
5
tiny.
inches
so
shorter.
she's got Instagram model build.
Yes.
All right,
she
cool.
is. Yeah.
She's
I
IG
don't-
model
okay, I'm not.
material.
we're-
She
yeah.
also
She's like a foodie on
is
Instagram.
runner up for an MLK award. So
Oh,
it's-
yeah.
Yeah.
Respect.
yeah, which is awesome. Yes, much
Love it.
So
respect.
they created an app that connects the volunteers who go pick up the food and drop it off, with the donor
alerts
and the
them?
donee. So yeah, so it's an alert system.
There's an app.
They
Donee.
Yeah,
created
there's
an app
for that.
and it was just released. She went to CMU for marketing. I think she has her MBA from there, so she's very tied in with
CMU.
technology and she has like automation.
And she's like sassy and
Yeah, and when I first met her, everyone wants to meet like and talk about farm to table. So usually people are like full of shit,
and
they
in
have.
love with this woman.
I know.
I don't even
You will
know
love
her.
You will love
I
her.
can't wait to meet her.
know her.
love her.
Oh.
She's unbelievable. And so
We're
she
gonna
said
have to
to me,
podcast her via Skype.
Yeah.
Can't be in this
Nah.
room. I
Nah.
might slide her my phone number. I might
watch
get
her
a
TED
Google number
Talk.
specifically
I can't
for
even-
her.
I can't even tell my girl that I'm
Leia.
gonna do a podcast
You
with
hit this
Leia
Google-
Lizarrando.
you hit
She's
this
going-
Google number.
All alarms are going off. Like, whoa,
This is
what?
dedicated specifically
When did
to
you guys shift into
Leia.
this?
Leia
Like,
Lizarando. I might go home and tell my girl, like, I want you to clean my meat like Leia Lizarando.
wow.
She's
She'll
like,
love
what?
her.
I'm be like, just
Yeah.
wait till
Leia.
105
See,
hits
that'll
the
end
Oh,
street.
the
here she
podcast.
is. Oh, there she's.
oh shit!
love her.
She
Yeah,
looks
she's-
like a Leia Lizarando.
Right, doesn't
Don't
she?
you?
Right.
God damn it.
Yo,
I
She's a
know.
badass.
Hard
wow.
She's a
Yeah.
total badass.
Wow, she looks like a
She's a total
Bond
hard ass.
like chick. Like,
She
you know what I
is.
mean? Like,
She's a
She
villain.
is.
yeah,
She's a Bond villain.
Yeah,
She's
And
got
when she
like,
tells you she's going to do something, she
does
does
it.
it.
Gets it done.
Yes.
She gets it done.
Done.
And then
With
it's-
precision.
Exactly.
Yes.
She's unbelievable. So
Yes.
it's an
Does she drive a
organization
Lexus?
that
Good point.
No.
She's
She
got
drives a
like one of
Kia.
them.
A Kia? Oh,
She's
oh,
very-
she's super. Wow.
She's incredible.
I know.
I'm sorry. I'm not
I'm in
here
love
to
with her, too.
objectify women and put like, but she is very.
She's an extremely attractive woman.
She's
but
a
she's extremely
gorgeous
when you
woman,
meet her.
But-
and she
I
has
love
a lot
her.
of power.
She's
and that's
more attractive to me because I know her so
Wow.
well. I know, right?
Well,
So
with
she-
the resume and
And
the
her-
goodwill.
Yes, and what they've done. So Giselle had the Braddock Free Store, so she had these relationships
Shout out to
set
the
up.
Fettermans. I love that Braddock Free
Yeah.
store.
Yes.
Like,
They're
again,
incredible.
I don't know if anybody listening, but I'm from Braddock. I love what the
Oh,
Fettermans have been
so
doing
you saw
down
all
there.
that happen.
Yeah,
all
I
the
saw, like,
changes.
I watched or whatever. Like I said, I mean, I grew up in there. Like the grocery store left, and it was a complete like that. Braddock Avenue was
Right, a
desolate.
nightmare, right.
And then Fetterman came in. He was like, I just want a Subway. And
Yeah.
our listeners heard this. You know, because
Right.
we've had
Just
one
wanna
many
walk
times.
to a
Word
Subway.
of the day for the 105 episode. Desolate.
But like
15104.
that whole resurgence and following that, like, and I didn't even know like that. Giselle had anything to do with the Braddock. I just saw like Braddock Free Store, and I saw like they were
That's
giving
what
away
she
gallons
started
of
it.
milk.
That's what
and
she was doing when
clothing.
she met John. So she was in, I think, New Jersey or near Philly, and she was running a free store out there. And she read about John and decided to
Oh.
come to Pittsburgh or Braddock
like that.
and see what he was doing. And that's how they met.
So I gotta get
So she
my-
had this,
Right. She's
and now
like,
there's
"Let's
free
get this done."
stores.
Damn
Like
it.
there's
I
a
love that.
Wilkinsburg
I
free
love that.
store. There's other free stores popping up around the city, and Giselle's just like such an open, like her heart is just open.
Yeah.
So she doesn't. There's no competition. It's
Yeah.
just let's open
Yeah.
everything up, open up all the channels, and just start letting this stuff flow.
Especially when businesses are closed, storefronts
Right.
are closed.
Right.
Open them up.
Exactly.
Just open the door.
Exactly.
And put free stuff in there.
Because so much stuff ends up in a landfill. That's
yeah.
the crazy part.
Yeah.
So
That's
like what
weird.
Giselle would
Yeah.
do is she would rescue like Carters. So Carters would dump all their like onesies that
Oh,
they
my
weren't
word.
selling.
Oh, my
Like,
God.
They would
last
dump them
season's
in and they would
onesies.
throw the
First of
stuff
all,
out.
These whole
Lord.
onesie.
Before we go
It's
any
crazy.
further,
Yeah.
Carters, why is you dumping onesies?
Yeah.
Do you
Ooh,
understand
right.
how
It's
many
like, right.
onesies my son has
Send-
shat in, fam?
Shat.
They
Right.
got that little
Right.
yellowish, like little
That's
stain
the- that's
because
the
he shat
standard.
directly
Yes.
in the.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
throwing onesies out?
Because-
That's
Yeah.
the standard
Yes,
baby
that's
shower
America.
gift.
Fuck
Fuck your
Yes.
coupons,
Going
Carters.
with
I'm
the
last
done.
onesie
season
and the
onesies.
diapers.
I'm done
That
with
should
Carters,
be
yo. I'm
saved.
done.
No, it's not
Nah,
Carter's.
done.
It's
They-
all of them.
Nah,
Ed.
man, 'cause
Ed,
they-
it's
all of
every.
them.
It's
Nah,
every
well,
Well, no,
corporate
but now they've
America.
Let me
gotten it. No, but
explain.
now they've changed their ways. 'Cause,
Let
I
me
mean, they've
explain
been
why I'm
rescued.
done with Carters. Because Carters love to give you a coupon at checkout that ain't
Exactly.
good for
Exactly.
60 days. Like, I check
So you
out
need
in
to go
January,
down to the
they talk about
landfill.
My
come
baby
down
ain't
in
gonna
June.
feel this shit no more.
Landfill.
You talking about come down
Free
in
pass to the
June with this
landfill.
15% coupon. My nigga gonna be wearing velour suits and shit like that. Like, he gonna have two pieces on. He ain't gonna be in onesies no more,
Velour
Carters.
doesn't fit with
I don't
my
even
landfill.
want, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, sit
Yeah.
with Bailey. That's all I'm
Right.
saying.
Hashtag Bailey.
I sit with Bailey.
I'm glad that we
Bailey.
actually
Hashtag I
like
sit with
we
Bailey.
did we inspire that? Is that
Yeah.
can I take? Can we
did.
like?
Yes, you
You guys
did.
can take
that
Yes,
you
you did.
finally-
You can
it's
take
like
credit for
you, like,
everything that
came
happens
out.
on this podcast. Everything that happens.
Is this
Because we
podcast
all,
getting
because
deleted?
we're only in
it's
this
gonna be like
mindset.
We're not
getting
publishing
deleted.
it.
Because y'all brought all this liquor.
all this.
Drop
all
it like
this.
it's hot.
I do want to give our listeners a takeaway
Okay.
because we have joked around a lot, and they may
You
not
should
have
broaden your
fully focused.
horizons
So
from this.
listeners, definitely check out Farm to Table.
Please.
Definitely check out local
FarmToTablePA.com.
FarmToTablePA.com. Check out your local what the fuck are those things called? Farmers markets.
Yes.
Check those out
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I've seen a farmers
And
market
the
and I always
PA
look like, look at
Preferred
those
and Buy Fresh,
weirdos.
Buy
And
Local.
shop the perimeter of the grocery store.
Buy Fresh,
Here's
Buy
the thing
Local.
about a farmer's
So,
market that confuses
Eat
me.
real
Tell me
food.
everything.
Yes.
It's just a weird place to buy produce for me. Like
It's
if
like
you're in
an
a
intense-
parking lot
It
in
is
East
weird.
Liberty, like, yo,
Yeah.
I'm gonna sell you this fresh cabbage. I'm like, nah, B, we in this random
Say-
ass park. I bought weed here yesterday.
I don't know, man. I get that's what I was to say. I guess I'm on the best green
God.
from
Right.
the parking lot.
Right.
I mean,
so
I
it has
don't know.
good energy.
So
The parking lot has great
I
energy,
mean-
so you should just roll with that.
It's 420
You-
somewhere.
you present me with
This
some
cabbage
yeah,
was harvested at 420
you
yesterday.
present
so
me with some, you know what I mean, some produce.
roll with it.
No pun
You know.
Yo,
intended.
if you got some cabbage with this weed,
Hey.
I'll pay extra for that weed.
Cabbage.
Some of my best
Hashtag
health needs
lettuce.
have come from this parking lot.
Lettuce.
Yo, they gonna start selling cabbage like,
Lettuce,
yo, ain't no
turnips, and beans.
seeds in this cabbage, fam.
No stems,
There's
no
no
sticks, no
stems. They
seeds.
cut it
It's the
right
size of a volleyball. Look at this cabbage,
It's
bruh.
kind cabbage.
Oh, that's adorable.
It's purple
I
haze
love that.
cabbage.
Oh,
fam.
That's
that-
kind
Yeah.
cabbage.
That's
Jimi
that
Hendrix
kind
cabbage.
That's a throwback term.
Yeah.
That-
I know, because I'm a throwback.
I
Like,
remember.
I'm 44.
I forgot all
Yeah,
about kind.
I'm old.
Kind cabbage.
Yeah.
KB
Yeah.
kind cabbage.
So,
Let's do
as a
this.
takeaway, what are
Okay.
some
Takeaway.
suggestions you have for individuals
Who
who
want to
want to eat clean, don't know how to start, may not feel like they have the money to do so? Like, how can you start that habit? Like, what are some things you can do at home right now
Yeah.
that don't cost you anything?
Well, one thing I did, because I ate horribly, like throughout my early 20s. Of course. Everybody, the early 20s are
there's
a
no
scary
reason to
time
eat healthy.
period.
34 and I live off a diet of
Yeah.
alcohol and beef. Like
But
that's
you know
it.
what? So start your
Pause.
grocery
Beer and
store.
beef.
Pause that.
That's it. Beef jerky, steak, beer. Like,
Yeah.
my shits are terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Kim,
definitely
I-
need to be sitting
I
at
should
all
be
times.
sitting
Yeah, you
with
should
the
be
daily.
So everyone should spend like
Start your grocery shopping at the produce section and
Yeah.
fill
Okay.
your cart up
and go around the
with
perimeter of the
vegetables.
grocery store.
And
The
you just have to
perimeter. Why
be
the perimeter?
creative.
because that's where like the real food is.
Yeah.
So like the
All
vegetables
aisles are marketed.
the meat,
See, I didn't
the
even know that
dairy.
People pay more to have like their product placed on an end cap.
Mm.
So they're marketing to you. So like just don't look at it.
It's processed food.
Just keep walking. Go to the produce department. Fill your cart up. Like if you like bananas, like whatever you like,
Produce first.
just fill it up. Yeah.
So first tip, produce first.
Yeah.
Where you're
produce
supposed
first.
to eat like 7 to 8 fruits and vegetables every day. And most
Yeah, do you?
Americans,
Nobody
I
does
mean,
that.
like 92% of
Welch's
people
count?
don't.
Like the little Welch's.
Gatorade.
yeah,
jelly?
that does.
Do you mean jelly?
No, the Welch's, the little bags is gummy
Oh, the
snacks.
fruit snacks?
No,
No,
that
no.
does
please
not
don't do
count.
that.
Are they lying to me? Are those
That's
no
14
good?
grams of
What
sugar per
about-
packet.
What about fruit punch
packet.
Gatorade?
No.
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 Even if
No.
even if it's
Go.
hot car
Okay,
Gatorade.
here I have a
We have a good friend named Will
strawberries.
Flower.
Those are delicious.
Strawberries are delicious.
Buy
But they're
strawberries.
Where the fuck you get strawberries?
expensive.
But, like,
They're
they are
very
expensive.
expensive.
Well,
And,
okay,
like, are
go.
they like
Strawberries
seasonal
are so
things?
This is,
sexual
I did
to
this
me.
this summer.
that-
I did
am I-
this this
am I the
summer.
only
You go
one?
pick them and then freeze them.
Pick them. Where the
Strawberries
Yeah,
are
I know.
super sexual
It's
to me.
so-
and I
Summer,
don't know
though,
why.
I went-
Like, I
I-
get strawberries for special occasions. Like I don't just.
Right.
I'm not just eating a
So
strawberry
the
on a
kind
Wednesday.
of the
like,
kind
I'm-
of fruits that are like very affordable, apples
Apples.
Yes.
are
Yeah.
hugely
Honeycrisp are
affordable.
really
And
good.
you could I mean, there was a guy who came to a lot of our talks who would always ask me if there was a lab test to test apples to see whether or not they were organic. And I was like, by the time like you go through all of that,
The apple's $5.
plant your own apple tree. We live in Pittsburgh. Plant
Let's
an apple tree.
taste
You
it.
can
How long does
you
that
can
take?
grow your own apples.
You can actually grow
Look
an
that
apple
up.
tree. How long does that take?
Well, I mean, you could buy a tree
Like
and
20
plant
years.
it, and then no, it does not.
Well,
no, I mean,
kinda does.
I planted like a stick from the Audubon Society.
Uh-huh.
Like when I first bought my house, I sent them like $10, and they sent me like 10 sticks, and I planted them. And I had a crabapple tree that grew. I mean, I cut it down
Wait, I planted that
4
with you.
years ago. Yeah, so
4 years. That's
you
it.
can
That's
grow
actually
a lot
pretty-
of your own. Grow your own. I
Well,
mean, you
I think
can
of
grow.
trees. I think like, oh man, you're not gonna get fruit until like.
But people,
your
and
kids-
especially if kids are in your in your household, you should grow food. It is
Yeah.
unbelievable
Oh,
what
and the-
happens when
and-
kids are walking around in the backyard
Pick a cherry
and they
tomato.
pick a
Well,
tomato or like
A
and
pumpkin.
there's a
We
group
smashed
called
a pumpkin in my
Grow
garden.
Pittsburgh that's an urban ag group in Pittsburgh that's and they have this whole curriculum and this whole like idea of like cherry tomatoes are perfect because kids are it's so easy for them to pick it up and just eat it. And so if you plant
Unless you
a
have
cherry
cat.
tomato
Don't do it if you
and
have a cat. Yes,
a basil
sir.
plant next to it. It gives you this unbelievable food. Yes, Ed.
Don't go
Ed,
there.
you're
Hashtag-
raising your hand.
No, I raised
you're
my
sitting-
hand.
question.
They have to acknowledge that I
sitting-
raised my hand. So
You don't have
we
to
were
raise.
on.
I'm
we
bossy.
were
Raise your hand.
on-
No, keep
we were
raising your
on
hand.
Marta on the Move, and I expressed
I told you not to go to this month.
an ideology. So here,
Sal.
no, shut up, Dave.
Wow.
I have an issue with. I don't know. This sounds stupid now after sitting here
That
on the
was
table. I have a problem with just foods that grow in random people's yards. I don't.
Why?
Random people.
Because
No, I'm
I
not
Celebrate
talking
it.
your
Don't
yard.
hate.
I
Celebrate.
don't because when you grow up in an urban society, like with crab apples, like we
This
were saying,
motherfucker
Oh,
doesn't
right.
like fruit that hasn't
Ed,
been like from
it's-
anonymous
that's
person.
because
Yeah,
He
you-
only
exactly.
likes
Ed,
anonymous fruit.
I
Ed,
only like
but do you-
anonymous
he only likes
produce.
Well,
anonymous.
like
I
change
don't
your
know why.
mind. Change
I
your
can't-
mind.
I cannot just if
He
I
only
come to
likes
your
glory
crib
hole
and you
fruit.
pick a cherry tomato and
But
say,
Like,
eat
will
that.
you
that's
eat-
all.
I'm not
gonna
He'll only
trust
eat it if he doesn't know where it came from.
That's true.
But do you eat like
But
you eat
you have
French
to
fries
change
from
your mind.
McDonald's?
Because he doesn't know where
I don't
the
know where
potatoes
those
came
French
from.
fries came
yeah.
from. I don't know.
Yeah.
what
But
those
Right.
if you picked a potato and then fried it up and gave it to him, he would feel a certain way about
No, you say it like it's like strange that I feel that way. I feel like there's
Is
a
anybody
large
here
part
not
of
feeling
society
strange?
that
Like,
feels
you probably
that
need
way.
to go to therapy.
Anybody feel that it's not strange?
You need
know,
to go to
okay,
therapy,
one that's
Ed.
like-
Let me
really
tell you
gross?
guys something, which
No?
is kind of an
Everybody's
amazing.
Am I
catering
alone?
to
Like,
this
what do you mean
idea.
anonymous
I'm
fruit?
not the only one because everybody we have an
No.
obesity problem because niggas just eat shit that they don't
But
know
it's-
where it came from.
But that's not because
I'm
Right,
the only
Ed.
person.
But
Don't-
it's not
Ed,
because they
don't believe
thought
the
like
hype.
I don't want to eat this because I know you. They don't think about that.
It's
Only
not that I
I
don't
love
want to eat
this
it
'cause
because
I
I
know
know you. But if you just take a fruit from outside,
Like if I give you a
I
piece
think
of
it's just
zucchini?
that weird. You got to get over that, especially
Yes.
when
They
you
all
grow
fruit
up.
comes
Yes,
from
you do.
outside.
It's
But
like
listen,
love. Like food from a garden is
listen.
love.
I don't come from a place where food from outside is how you get food.
Right.
And I
You
think
should
what
look
I'm
up- you
basically
just have to
trying to
change
say
your
is, how
brain.
do you get people to get over
You
that
should look
hurdle?
up- there's
Like,
a guy
we live in
in-
Pittsburgh now.
yeah.
I'm from Cleveland. We don't think of farms and shit like that. So
Yeah.
a crab apple, there was a reason why people were telling us
Right.
crab apples were poisonous. Because a crab apple's growing in the middle of fucking Taylor
were not-
Avenue.
they were not
and that's when
poisonous.
niggas
Right.
just driving buses and
poisonous.
shit. Like,
They weren't
No,
poisonous.
There's motherfuckers
They
though,
weren't.
like you go to Euclid in
No, I
East
know-
Cleveland,
right.
and then they
They
got a
weren't.
crab
My sister
apple.
used to
You're
live
not
in
trying to
Euclid.
eat that shit. So if you pulled a
Yeah.
fucking pepper out the backyard and be like,
There's
fuck
a guy
that,
in
that's crab
LA.
apple status. Fuck what you talking
So
about.
you know what? Like
There's
with-
a guy in LA named Ron Finley. He's the gangster gardener, and he planted on his tree lawn, like out in front of his sidewalk, an entire edible
Nice guy.
garden. And LA, the city of Los Angeles, was trying to shut it down.
It's weird as fuck to people who live there.
And
Yeah.
people would come in and apologize for eating the food because they thought they were stealing it. But that's why he's an artist and he
They were
he
stealing
planted, but they weren't because
They were.
it was
he
free.
was giving it.
He was giving it
I'm
away.
stealing that.
The beauty of a backyard garden is that when you grow zucchini, there's 20 zucchinis, and you can't eat them all at the same time. So you give them to your neighbors.
Yeah, no, I don't.
And then your neighbors have zucchinis, and it's weird.
The absinthe.
It is totally
It's
weird.
unbelievable.
It is weird, and that's what I'm
But
saying. Like for me, and I'll
Just
take.
cook it together with your
I'll
neighbor.
take like
It's all about being
all the
friends with
ridicule
people.
and shit like that. But I
Yeah.
think two people who come from like a midwestern city, that growth to plate scenario is weird. Like growth straight to my kitchen
know, it's weird.
is strange.
like, put
you
yourself
don't
out there,
see
honey. You can
Pittsburgh
do
in
it.
that way. Like you don't buy your food that way. I've never grown like I walked through my hood one day and I seen somebody and they had a whole garden. And my first thought was, what the fuck is you doing with this garden over here?
Yeah.
What is you doing
Why
with
are
this
these
garden
beautiful
over here?
flowers
Like,
growing?
this
This
a
is bizarre.
crackhead buying crack up the street, and you got a fucking garden. Like something's wrong
Your
with that
flowers
fruit.
are crazy.
And how do we get past that?
You pick up
You
a piece and
celebrate
you eat
beauty.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get over your weird ass glory
celebrate
hole
your
fruit fetish.
bullshit.
So
That's not weird.
so
you make it because here's my problem with that. You cannot say that's weird when that is something that
I
even
agree
though
with
you
you.
say it's weird because I
Well, you tell
express it
us
in this
that.
manner.
Yeah.
You tell
It
me
is the
what
predominant
needs to change.
opinion,
Yeah.
I think, with most people from those areas.
I'm gonna let you
Tell
ride
me
with
what
that
needs to change.
because we got a little bit of time left, and I really want to get in. Farmer Dave, you guys got an event coming up in March.
Yes, March 24th and 25th.
Okay, so tell us about that. I mean, like what's all involved, and the whole nitty gritty of that, because that sounds like a dope ass event that we want to be a part of.
It's a 2-day conference. It's open to the public. Tickets are for sale on farmtotablepa.com. We also have free admission to anybody who's on WIC, SNAP, or food stamps.
Medicaid, Medicare.
Medicaid and Medicare. Or teachers. We do continuing education credits for teachers. The whole idea is, and this year our theme is growing roots for healthy communities. So we're having cooking demonstrations from people from around the world and American cooking tradition. So we'll have someone cooking soul food. We'll have someone cooking Indian food. We'll have someone cooking
potatoes, tomatoes.
right.
Yep. All
Exactly. So because we can learn this is how we get over those fears of food.
Yeah,
so we
try it.
appeal to people's like, what did your grandma cook for you? What did your
And how
aunt
can
cook for
she
you?
grow
And
it
she-
And
herself?
how did you? and
Totally
how can
grew
you
it.
connect
Yeah,
to it? So if
she
you're
totally did.
black and in America in Pittsburgh, and you see someone cooking soul food at farm to table, that's something that you can connect with,
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's something that will like overcome that barrier.
And
They
share
tries to make
what
me feel
your-
weird. I
share
don't
your
feel weird.
experience.
I know what I say is fucking true. People
I
feel that.
totally agree
Yes,
with you.
I
I
know.
100%
And
agree
if
with
they
you.
went to the
It's-
bathroom and the seal breaker is a deal breaker, I have to put
He's
that on
probably
the
sitting
podcast.
in there, Ed.
He's
He's
sitting up
sitting.
there.
Sitting down.
He lying.
Hashtag
Let me tell you
Like on a
something.
throne.
Let me tell you something. The workout of your knees. Go ahead, do. Just go ahead and finish
Yeah,
your ad
work
because
on
I can go on sitting and peeing all
Farm to
day.
table.
I do that for real.
Yeah. I'm really excited.
We
for
have
this
cooking
year's
demos. We have
event.
speakers.
Growing roots.
Yeah,
It's like getting back to your roots.
Yes.
Keep it real, keep it local. You gotta, your ancestors, everybody who made Pittsburgh what it is. Pittsburgh has grown so much in the last 10 years, and you have to keep changing, but you also have to look back to where we came from and find out what is authentic there and keep that going.
And bring everyone to the table and not just like the like certain crowd who's like, all these different trends. Right. There's zero clicks at farm to table.
Yeah, I think eating healthy has become a
there's no
trend for
competition. Everyone's invited, and every business who wants to be there can come. We have about 130 small businesses who come and exhibit, and about 50 speakers who come and do cooking demonstrations. We have tastings, so like Maggie's, Wiggle, Boyd and Blair. They
Friday
always
and
come
Saturday
to all
night
of
there's
our
separate
events.
tastings, and
some.
they're
Wiggle,
awesome.
wiggle, whiskey.
Wiggle whiskey.
Yeah, you get to wiggle with
Wiggle
it,
whiskey.
and you get to eat a lot of food.
You get to eat. You guys
Eat and
have
drink
the
and be
farm.
merry.
What is it? Farm to what is it?
Farm to table.
flask.
Farm to
Farm to
flask.
flask on Saturday.
We got the drinking.
So
You know
Wiggle-
we got to talk about the
Wiggle
drinking.
comes.
aspect.
Drinking, yes.
Wiggle comes.
Farm to flask.
Maggie's
Like you
was
know
there.
we're in there.
Boyd
Christian
and Blair was there.
Simmons.
Christian Simmons.
Shout out-
And
Shout out to
Christian-
Christian
we love
Simmons,
Christian
man. We
Simmons.
love
We
Christian.
love
He
Yeah,
works
Christian
with
Simmons.
probably 8 to 10.
That
He's-
motherfucker, yeah.
And he's opening his own shop in the Strip District. He
Yeah,
bought
no,
a building.
He
Yeah.
said,
So we need to have a reunion.
Shout
with
out to
Simmons.
Christian. Yeah, he was
Like a
telling us
1 week
about
reunion.
that. He was talking about like around February or
sleepover.
whatever. Like, but he finally he signed
It'll
the
be-
paperwork for it or whatever.
It'll
and
be
it's
my
like
first
official.
Snapchat. Me walk around that spot.
I haven't
just
done
buying
Snapchat
liquor.
yet.
Yeah.
I'm too old for
Done
Snapchat.
Listen,
Don't
I'm
do-
too old for a lot of shit, but you know what I'm just old enough for? Sitting
Sleep.
and peeing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And
Did you just
there
go
it
to the
is.
bathroom?
I did go to the
sit?
bathroom and I
Did you
didn't sit with
sit?
Bailey.
I know you
I did not
sat.
sit with
I know you
hashtag
did.
sit with Bailey.
He sat.
And I
Sounds
just
like
want
you're talking about like a
He
Labrador
sat because he
retriever.
didn't want to have to wash his hands.
Bailey.
Listen, the mass appeal to that is you don't necessarily need to wash your hands, fellas.
I'm okay
if
with
you
doing
sit and
wash
That's
my
what
pee.
hands.
Joe.
A
That's
lot
what
of
Joe
dudes
said.
don't wash their hands anyway. If you sit and pee,
Especially if you're
you
5.
ain't gotta wash your hand. You ain't
Right,
touch nothing.
exactly.
I'm just saying. How
Okay.
You sit, pee.
Whoopsie.
You sit, you pee. You get a shake.
That's what Joe does. And he's 5.
Well,
and
'cause
it's
they're dudes.
disgusting. Wait till
They're
I tell
dudes.
you when we're off the air.
You
I'll tell
sit, you
something.
pee,
Oh, God.
and you shake, and then you get up, pull your drawers up, and you
All
back
right,
to
man.
playing video
Yeah,
games.
you
I
Teach
also
him how to
shakes.
do we already go over the fact that these are events that you could bring the family to
Yes.
and
That is a
We're
huge
family
thing.
friendly.
Yeah.
Maybe
We
a
have
little
like so
boozy.
many kids.
12 and under
we
are
can't
free.
stop.
12 and
Kids
under are
12
free.
under are free.
We have a lot of
we have
kids
a
there.
lot of like mom groups that come. We have a lot of
Teachers
any
and
any
students.
organization or any group of people who want to come. If the ticket
Group
is
rate.
a barrier, like the ticket price, just call me, Erin Hart. 412-563-7807 is my office number.
Mike Jones did.
Leave me. I know.
004.
I know. I don't want people to think. I never want.
I'm not sure what that means, but sure.
How many people actually called that number? Because
No
I
one.
did. I actually called
My ex-husband
And-
used to leave me messages. It's awkward.
Hey,
Shut up.
I had no
I'd be
idea.
like, I know it's you, psycho.
I actually called Mike Jones' number because
Did you get
I
the
had-
number?
412
Hey, this is Mike Jones.
563
I think this ain't your real
7807.
voice.
Call
Smell.
me and I will hook you up.
Oh, my
Work.
God.
We're all about
Or
hooking
just
people up.
And then-
farmtablepa.com.
yeah, and that's the thing is that
We
like you
give
know at
everything
here
away.
I mean, these are, as the drinking partners, we have families. We also love booze. We also love getting the fuck out and having fun. And it is
Very important.
it's super tough to combine all of those things, right?
It's very important. Listen
So
up.
this is one of those rare
you can-
opportunities
you
where
can.
you can actually go out, have fun with the family. And when we say fun,
And
we're not
interact
like,
with adults.
oh, it's for the kids type fun, where like you sit in the
No. We're not going to
background
the zoo.
and you're miserable while they're enjoying the time of their lives. It's like, no, we can actually all
We're
have
having fun, and the kids are running around like a
They're running
lunatic.
around
Kids
doing
run
things.
around, it's
Yeah.
very
You know what I mean?
yeah.
You got to pick now. Who's the DD is up to you and your family. How you guys
Uber.
is that? Uber. You could
Uber,
Uber it.
Uber
There it
is
is.
sponsor
You
this.
could
We're gonna
Uber.
get a group
Yeah, I
rate
mean,
for
have
that.
some drinks or whatever, and it's educational. I mean, you learn how to better. You know what I mean? Have a better eating habits and a lifestyle, and I mean, it's great. So
No, we can't stress that enough. Listen, you got to look for events that allow you to be yourself,
Yeah.
would allow you to bring the family and learn, man. Like, we have this millennial culture. We all want to have all of the information, and this is one of those events where this information about how you eat, what you put in your body, that shit is real.
Yeah.
Like especially for me, like, I go to the gym, and what I'm learning is you can go to the gym every motherfucking day, but if you're just putting bullshit in
Yeah.
your body, basically you're working back to one. You
Yeah.
Brian McKnight
Right.
that shit. Like, I'm starting back
preventative
at
care.
Every
one. You love that Brian McKnight reference? And she do it. Okay, you be listening to Brian. That's why you got all them kids. Listen to the Brian McKnight.
Step one, go to farm to table.
Grow your grit if you're able.
I love what I
Eat
do.
your
man.
kale
This is
chips.
awesome. I love podcasts.
Well, let the people know where they can find you two individually and where they can find Farm to Table and get more information about what's going on.
So our website is farmtotablepa.com. It actually has a local food resource guide on the website, so you can find farms, CSAs, farmers markets from around the
breweries,
region.
distilleries.
We're on Twitter. If you
Facebook?
go to our website, you can click to all of our social media sites because all of our social media sites have different names. We haven't
And our conference
streamlined them.
page has a lot of YouTube.
Yeah, you can check out our
videos on it.
videos. So last year we had it was our 10th anniversary, so we had a bunch of videos made and as part
Good
of the
videos, too.
celebration. So
They're awesome.
that'll give you a snapshot of like exhibitors, speakers, attendees, etc. And yeah, hopefully everyone will check us out.
Nice.
Definitely check them out. I don't know. We have to come up with like a DP stamp or something. Something that's like, yo, do that shit.
Yeah. Because
Like
this is
better
so
business
An
definitely.
ad
hero.
lib, like an ad lib.
Yeah.
An ad lib.
This is definitely
Because
shit.
for me, this is like, I mean,
Like
again,
stamp of
trying
approval.
to
Like you've been partnered or something.
We drank together, and now we're partners.
You've been partnered. Nah, it's real shit.
You've
'cause
been DP.
Partner pod.
I didn't want to say that. I thought that. I didn't want to say it. It felt wrong. It felt wrong. You know
That's
what
why I
mean?
didn't say it.
It felt almost like you've been hit by. Like it felt like that type of feel. Like I don't know what I'm saying if I say you've been DP'd.
Like, are you sexually harassing me?
I don't know. I mean, we
HR.
had that whole
I'm
back and we had that whole thing where I wanted to get my meat clean like Leia's Orlando. You know what I mean? Like
Leia. Leia is like
call
a
it
gem.
HR. It's
The
on
gem
my
of society.
Speed list.
she's never gonna
I
come on.
can't. No, she will.
As soon as we start, I'm gonna be like,
come with
I
her.
want to get my
Oh,
meat
she said-
clean like Leia's Orlando.
Oh man, I can't wait to have. She's got to be on the podcast.
I don't learn how to Millie rock
Yeah.
with that
Leia,
shit. Like
she's
she need to
already
come
a
on.
celebrity.
Leia is.
She needs
She's
to go.
hilarious too.
Yeah.
She has a great sense of humor.
Yeah,
She's very smart.
she has to be to not take offense
yeah.
to.
Shorty,
this
you a
entire-
10. I don't even know you. Like,
Who
made you?
Leia.
Who made you?
Her mom, who lives here
Yeah,
now.
shout out to her
Her
genetics.
mom just moved here from the Philippines.
That come from
Nice.
eating them fresh
Like-
greens, y'all. Listen, man, get out the
Yeah,
farm to
fresh.
table.
I bet she could make
Get
like the
your
best beans and greens that you've ever had.
beans, greens. Listen, on some real shit. Sometimes we in real shit. Learn what you're putting in your body.
Yeah.
It's very important, and we have a resource here in the city that one will educate you on what you're putting in your body. Two, will link you to resources to get funds or get access to things that you should put in your body, regardless of what your financial situation is.
Yeah.
And that is huge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No matter what, don't let your situation dictate your health.
And if you're looking for even if
So
you're not in the Pittsburgh region or whatever, say you're listening to this podcast and you're somewhere in Cali or France or Australia or whatever, and you're looking for ways to start these things up in your own community, look on the website, Farm to Table. I'm sure these ladies are available to give you pointers and things that you can do in your own home, in your own community, to not only help yourself but also help your community as well. So that's definitely important.
So, Day, as always, hit them with the rundown. Let them know where they can find us.
Well, we are Drinking Partners, and if you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspot. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, and Google Play under Drinking Partners. And you can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at Partnerspot.
Yo, again, we want to just thank you two for coming in, blessing us with the knowledge, allowing me to get my initiative out there.
Hashtag.
Sit and be fit.
Hashtag I sit with Bailey.
Sit
But
and
more
be
importantly, Farm to Table, learn what you're putting in your bodies. Thank you guys for listening. If you listen through, man, I hope you learned something. I hope you got something from it. Make sure you guys are healthy. We want you to listen to our next 105 episodes. We need you to be here and in good health. And as always, Drinking Partners is the crew. Epicast is the family. And we out.